Caffeine affects the brain. Why does this happen? Lots of people proclaim that they can't start the day without coffee, and they sort of have a point. The caffeine in coffee provides us with a series of health benefits, including increased cognitive function and alertness. But we build up a tolerance to its effects over time, meaning we have to drink more and more coffee to experience the same benefits. Caffeine affects the central nervous system. Neurons in your brain have specific receptors that the neurotransmitter adenosine attaches to throughout the day to make you increasingly drowsy, helping you to fall asleep at night. However, caffeine has a similar molecular structure to adenosine, and like a car cutting the queue at a drive-through, it binds to the neurons before the adenosine gets the chance, preventing these feelings of drowsiness. Caffeine also stimulates the central nervous system by promoting the release of other neurotransmitters, including noradrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin, which can help your reaction time and mood, but can also increase your heart rate and make some people feel anxious. Some studies also suggest that caffeine is very bad for your digestive system, and too many caffeine-containing drinks can even have a laxative effect. Thank goodness coffee makes you more attentive then, so you can really focus on trying to find the nearest toilet. Brain freeze. Why does it happen? I scream, you scream, we all scream from brain freeze. We've all experienced a sharp pain in the head when we gorge on a lemon sorbet, down a slushie, or simply eat ice from a sack. But that's not just the universe punishing us for giving in to our most decadent desires. Brain freeze occurs because of the sudden change in temperature in our mouths, which causes the blood vessels in our palate to quickly constrict, helping us conserve heat loss. This in turn helps cause brain arteries to dilate, which activates the trigeminal nerve, causing us pain. One way to prevent brain freeze is to reduce the temperature difference between your mouth and your food. So instead of eating ice, you could drink liquid ice, something I like to call water. Alternatively, instead of taking your ice cream out of the freezer, you can always get in with it. So by warming up your food or cooling down your mouth, you can prevent this sudden change in temperature, thereby preventing any pain. But probably the best way to stop screaming from ice cream headaches is to just slow down a bit next time. What happens to us if we don't sleep? As we all know from various mattress adverts, most of us will spend a third of our life asleep. But what happens if we don't get our full 40 winks? What if we get 39 winks or even 38? Firstly, sleeping is incredibly important to help your body fight against diseases. When you're asleep, your body releases infection-fighting substances like antibodies and cytokines, which combat bacteria and viruses.
Some scientists believe that after just one night of poor sleep, there is a significant reduction in the production of anti-cancer immune cells.
Lack of sleep also increases the production of a toxic protein in the brain called beta amyloid, which is associated with Alzheimer's disease, and it makes it harder for you to form new memories. So the less you sleep, the more likely you are to forget the memories you made on those sleepless nights. Sleeping also regulates appetite. If you don't sleep, your body increases its production of ghrelin, which despite its name, isn't a troll from Lord of the Rings. It's actually a hormone which tells you you're hungry. That's why, if you don't sleep very well, you can get food cravings the next day and feel like a bit of a troll, or even a ghrelin. Deep sleep reduces your heart rate and actually functions as a natural blood pressure regulator, which is great for your cardiovascular system.
Some studies suggest that if you're regularly experiencing poor sleep, you have an increased risk of having a fatal heart attack in your lifetime.
A handy argument when trying to convince your boss you need a lie-in. Deja vu. Why does it happen? We've all had that strange feeling of, I've been here before. And I'm not talking about each time you find yourself texting your ex on Christmas Day that you miss their mum. I'm talking about deja vu. The mechanics of deja vu are still contested, and scientists have different theories on why it occurs. One theory is that it occurs when there is a slight delay in your brain processing information, so we interpret our experience as two separate events. Another theory is the spatial awareness hypothesis. You may have never actually been to this mountain range before, but its layout is particularly similar to a lampshade shop you went to years ago. Your brain registers the event as familiar, even though this is a new experience. A final theory suggests that deja vu does not occur when our memory is faltering, but actually when our brain is trying to correct an inaccurate memory. The temporal lobe signals to the brain's frontal regions that a past experience is repeating itself, but then the decision-making part of the brain concludes that this isn't actually logically possible. This feeling of our brains cross-referencing our previous memories is the feeling of déjà vu. Many people claim that déjà vu is accompanied by a feeling that they already know what's going to happen next. But remember, premonition is not scientifically possible. Déjà vu, on the other hand, does have a scientific explanation. They're still just working on it. Sleep talking and walking, why do we do it? It's a common misconception that you shouldn't wake a sleepwalker, and it's actually perfectly safe to gently guide them back to bed or towards the kitchen and lightly suggest they put the bin out or take the cat for a walk. Those who walk and talk in their sleep tend to do so in non-REM sleep, non-rapid eye movement, which is when you're not dreaming as vividly. The exact cause of sleepwalking, also known as somnambulism, is unknown. But if you have family members who roam around in their sleep, you are more likely to also be a sleepwalker. There is also an increased likelihood of sleep activity when you're a child or if you're experiencing stress. But sleepwalking is very common and nothing to worry about. So there's no need to have nightmares about an army of stressed sleepwalking children. Many people have reported waking up naked outside of their home, having discovered they've sleptwalked. So as a precaution, it's always best to fall asleep fully clothed, just in case. One top tip from us, if you do need to have a difficult conversation, you can always pretend to be asleep. If you're believable enough, you can absolve yourself of almost any responsibility. Other loopholes include sleep perjury and sleep embezzlement. These excuses all hold up in court. Please note, these excuses do not hold up in court. Stomach butterflies. Why do we get them? People all over the world experience a similar sensation of butterflies in their stomach when they're either anxious, excited, stressed, or developing romantic feelings. You might get butterflies before an upcoming performance review at work, and it's hard to tell whether you're anxious about getting fired or you're just in love with your boss. Stomach butterflies are actually a result of the body's fight or flight response to stress or excitement. The body releases stress hormones, including adrenaline and cortisol, leading to an increased heart rate and blood flow to your muscles. These physical changes result in that fluttering feeling. The stomach and brain also communicate through the vagus nerve, an intricate network of nerve fibers which run between the brain and the abdomen. In fact, 90% of the fibers in the vagus nerve carry information from the gut to the brain, not the other way around. These nerves tell us when we're hungry or full, or when our physiological stress response has been triggered. So sometimes our stomach knows our emotions before we do, hence the phrase gut feeling. So maybe you don't have pre-party nerves after all. Maybe you're just head over heels obsessed with the new outfit you've picked out. So there you have it.